This chowder is so smooth, creamy and silky. Even though we didn't add any cream in it. It's so delicious. Try out our clam chowder recipe. And everyone at home will insist that you make it again every weekends. Yummy! Garnish with some freshly chopped green onions or scallions and top up with some crushed black pepper. Make this and you will be appreciated for the clam chowder every time you prepare it. It's so simple and easy, just follow our steps. Not a fan of garlic toast? Add in more of that crispy cornflakes. Our cornflakes are double fried in clarified butter to make them extra crispy. See how we do it. Come, let's enjoy our labor of love. This Saturday we visited this remote coastal town in the state of Selangor in Malaysia. We left Kuala Lumpur around 5:30 in the morning and witnessed the sunrise in Pasir Penampang. Yong Tau Fu, a local Chinese breakfast dish sold by a very old uncle using his motorbike. His stall is on a, he's actually a street peddler on a motorbike selling this breakfast dish. A lot of people were buying it and looked very tasty, so we were also tempted to buy some from him, so we bought some of this Yong Tau Fu from him. Since it was still early, we decided to have our breakfast in one of the kopitiams in Pasir Penampang, Kuala, Selangor. There were a lot of varieties to choose from. We ordered some curry noodles and wonton noodles. We were allowed to bring in the Yong Tau Fu, which we bought from the street vendor. Outside the kopitiam, there was a vendor with a very good spread of fritters and nyonya kuehs. My favorite angku kueh was also there. I really loved the taste of the sweet mung bean paste in it. But surprisingly, for a rural street vendor, the price was really steep at 1 ringgit 20 cents per piece. Just 2 days ago, we bought it for only 80 cents each in Taipan, Subang Jaya, a very modern and sophisticated township in Subang Jaya, another town in Selangor. The angku here tasted very bland. Anyway, we are not here to do a food review. See, the reason we came from Kuala Lumpur all the way to Kuala Selangor, this coastal town, is because we wanted to purchase this earthen pot. The reason behind it is to start cooking curry in a very traditional way. Curry cooked in an earthen pot also brings out the flavor of the ingredients better. Sugu and me, we are not satisfied with this pot. We want only the best. The walls of this pot is too thick and it is going to take ages to cook anything inside it. Only this pot was available. We bought it so that we could remember it as a souvenir. This rural coastal town of Kuala Selangor has always been the go-to place for Malaysian Indians, especially those from the state of Selangor, to get their clay pots and earthenware, prepared traditionally by very skillful artisans. In our search to buy a traditional clay pot, we could find only 3 potteries still in existence. Most of the potteries we went to only had glazed cookware, which are not really suitable for Indian or South Indian curry dishes. We stumbled upon a small cottage outfit making traditional clay oil lamps, a mother and daughter operation. Young artisan really surprised us with the lamp making skills. In conversation, we found out that she is an accounts graduate who volunteers to help out a mother during her free time in the small cottage industry. She goes on to make these oil lamps so elegantly with such an ease. We were mesmerized and got carried away looking at her doing one lamp after the other. According to the mother, once the clay lamps are shaped, they are dried in the hot sun for at least 1 day before the lamps are fired in a traditional wood fire kiln. We noticed that her clay throwing skills were exceptionally good. A cheerful personality with a lot of knowledge about traditional pottery. The end result, and they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. We are still in Kuala Selangor. Being a coastal town, we thought that we shouldn't miss the opportunity to visit some of the seasides along the coast. So we have just turned into this road leading us to Pantai Jeram. The seaside at Pantai Jeram with its blue skies and green mangrove trees are a welcome sight for urban dwellers. This seafront looks and sounds awesome for nature lovers. Looks like still life photography lovers also can have a swinging time here. We felt tempted to do a walk past with this sunken, rotting away boat in the background. A beautiful picture frame scene. We are now at another seafront in Kuala Selangor. This seaside is known as Pantai Remis, named after the small-sized sea clams, which are said to be found in abundance in this seaside. It is about 9 AM in the morning and the tides have not come up yet. There are already people at this stretch of the seaside. They are already, collecting with their own fancy tools. They have their own fancy tools to collect, and they are already scourging the seaside for these small-sized clams, which are said to be really very tasty without any fishy smell. And it is said that this type of clams are only found in waters where in seasides where the water is a bit murky. Looks like Sugu can't resist the urge to actually dig into the sand to get her share of the clams. She seems well prepared with her own set of tools and attire, and this is the first time she's at it. She was so delighted with her first find, and now she's at it like how the locals are doing it. You know, at last she even persuaded me to join her and give her a hand. So you see, I'm also at it now. Actually, I noticed a supermarket on the way to this place. So after this, we are going to take a quick drive to the supermarket. We'll get some ingredients to actually, I've already decided. I'm going to make or prepare clam chowder, very tasty clam chowder, using this small little clams. It is said that these clams are really tasty, and Pantai Remis really lived up to its name. Remis is the clam we are digging now.
Nice, huh? Very nice, the pattern are very.
A nice beachfront, we must admit. It's a nice place for picnics and get-togethers, but not for swimming. When tide's up, the water is very murky.
Success! Oh, the Remis.
By the time we came back from the supermarket after purchasing the ingredients for the chowder, the seaside was bustling with groups of ferocious looking primates. The local municipal council really needs to do something about their safety and also the visitors' safety. Better to take precautions before anything goes wrong. Innocent children can get hurt if bitten ferociously, and they are very quick. And actually, one surprised us by quickly snatching one of the groundnut packets we just had got from the supermarket. We need to clean the clams first. Add 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon cornstarch. You can even use any other flour if cornstarch is not available. We shall add some water and mix into a solution. Mix well and submerge all the clams into the solution. This process will help remove any sediments or fine sand that's inside the clams. Keep it aside for at least 45 minutes to an hour while we prepare the other ingredients. This is a very rare exotic fruit. It is called JAMBU BOL in Malaysia and simply referred to as the Malay Rose Apple. We found a Malay auntie selling this by the seaside and we decided to buy it to add it into our chowder. It has got a very distinctive flavor, not evident in any other fruits. The white pulp of this fruit is very juicy. And when we bite into it, it has a sweet and sourish tang. Have you eaten this fruit before? Is it available in your part of the world? Look at how white the pulp of this fruit is. What is this fruit known as in your part of the world? Please do let us know in the comment section. For our chowder, we are using one medium-sized carrot and one whole potato. Carry on watching to see how we cut this potato. It's a unique way to cut potatoes for chowders and soups. A trick I picked up from my elder sister. We have to just repeatedly make a small cut and pry break the potato into bite-sized pieces, like how I'm doing it here. This way, when we throw in these potatoes into a chowder or a soup, the thicker parts of the cuts which are thicker will cook to perfection. The thinner parts will be soft, and some of the very thin parts which are broken into thinner parts will actually disintegrate into the chowder or soup, which will give a very unique and flavorful chowder or a soup. We sincerely apologize for the bad sound recording. It's unavoidable because of the so breezy and windy seaside. It's actually, even though it's the sun is shining, it's nice. It feels very comfortable sitting down here and doing our cooking. Everything went into safekeeping inside the car due to the nuisance of the primates. Half a medium-sized yellow onion and half a medium-sized red onion diced. Two celery stalks thinly chopped. Remember, we should only start cooking once our mise en place is done. Everything cut and diced ready. You see, the beauty about preparing our own chowder is we decide what ingredients goes in. If we do not want an ingredient, we just leave it out. And we can always add in a bit more of the ingredients which we prefer. Okay, let's go on and start the cooking process. The clams have already soaked in the starch solution for about an hour. It's time we remove them from the starch solution. Have to keep washing a few times repeatedly. Wash thoroughly until the water runs clear. Remove the clams by picking them up from the top. Don't dig into the bowl. We want any fine sand or sediments which had come out from the clam to settle down underneath. We are going to cook the clams and prepare our clam stock. Boil some water in a pan. Add half teaspoon heaped salt when the water starts to boil. Throw in the clams we just prepared and cleaned into the boiling water. Once the shells of the clams open up, they are cooked and ready for the chowder. We can remove them from the stove. That is Sugu screaming in the background. The primates tried to snatch the ingredients she was holding in the hands for me to cook. Once we remove the clams, what remains will be our clam stock. Now we shall separate the clam meat from the clam shells and we can discard the clam shells. We only need the clam meat. Looks like removing the clam meat from the clam shells really needs serious attention. And the process is a bit tedious and time consuming due to these Remis clams being small in size. The chowder we are going to prepare today is going to be a healthier version minus the bacon, but it will still have that intense flavor. To give our chowder the intense flavor, we are adding clarified butter. So we are going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of clarified butter to give us that intense flavor. Adjust the stove to medium heat and throw in about a handful of cornflakes. Let us fry the cornflakes in the melted clarified butter. Once the cornflakes turn golden yellow, remove them and keep them aside. Throw in half teaspoon of fennel seeds into the remaining clarified butter. Let us add in the bay leaf now. Throw in the finely chopped garlic pieces. Let us now add in the roughly chopped yellow and red onion pieces. Mix them in and fry until lightly wilted. Adding flour to prepare the roux for our chowder is a personal preference. We can add more flour if we want it thicker, or lesser flour if we want it thinner. But keep adding little by little so that we avoid creating lumps in our chowder. Here we added all together 1 tablespoon heaped flour. When the flour is already roasted to our desired color and preference, we shall add the chunks of diced carrot. Let us now add in our finely chopped celery. We do not want to chop our celery into big chunks. We don't think anyone wants to bite into big chunks of celery in our chowder. Here we are throwing in this finely chopped celery to give us that added flavor when we dig into our chowder. We are going to add in the clam stock we prepared earlier, minus any sand in it. Tear a single sheet of kitchen towel and put it over the sieve. Believe us, it will work. We have done it so many times before this. And now slowly pour in the clam stock we have prepared earlier and reserved. Actually, it's so windy and breezy here. Everything seems to flying everywhere. Mix well. Now we shall stir in the potato pieces which we have prepared earlier. Mix well and let it simmer. Every 2 or 3 minutes, stir nicely so that the roux doesn't get burnt and get stuck to the underneath of the saucepan. It's important that we keep stirring until the potatoes get cooked. The roux is already getting thickened and our chowder is already taking its form. This is when we have to be extra careful to not allow the chowder to get burnt. Now is the right time for us to add in the soft and juicy clam meat. Now we shall add in the diced Malay Rose Apple. Locally, as I have mentioned before, it's known as JAMBU BOL. This Malay Rose Apple or JAMBU BOL has a very unique flavor which is not available in any other exotic fruit. We can replace it with a kiwi fruit or a teaspoon of lemon juice. Stir in 1 cup full cream milk. Allow our chowder to simmer for another 2 or 3 minutes and it will be ready to be served. We can remove it from the stove. Come, let's prepare some garlic toast to accompany our clam chowder. Take about 3 garlic cloves and start mashing them up like so. Mix and blend the butter with the mashed up garlic and we are ready to spread it generously over the slices of bread. There are also some fishing recreational activities going on in this Pantai Remis, the seaside at Pantai Remis. We are now witnessing a young fisherman, an angler by the name of Udin, who was able to land a croaker fish. Me too brought over my fishing tackles with me, but was a bit tired as the tide was only up after the afternoon, and so I thought that it was not appropriate for me to go on and do some fishing. Here you see Udin again. He has just landed a catfish.